Well, greetings, hello, and welcome back. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is episode number 4. I'm Imperial Jedi. Welcome on back. And yeah, if you're just popping in from one of the previous episodes and you're just maybe jumping ahead looking for some traffic tinkering, we've actually moved that to episode 5, so see you there. Today's episode, we're actually going to be building another interchange. So if you missed the last one, I have no idea what it is. It's going to be a double crossover merging interchange. And this one is a fairly efficient highway-to-highway interchange. Very similar to this guy here. Similar in the sense that what we're going to be doing is flipping the lanes over, but we're going to have two different heights of bridges. So they're going to go over top of each other instead of creating a traffic light, so we'll have continuous flow. And yeah, it's pretty grandiose, a lot of fun, and I don't know why, but I'm suddenly feeling making some oversized interchanges, so I want to make this one maybe a little bit bigger. I think that might be maybe make it a little bit easier to follow along as well. And it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. I'm also kind of enjoying doing like very custom style interchanges, especially ones that have curves and stuff. So I think really the most important takeaway here is the order in which I'm making the interchange itself. But this one, it's going to be a little bit more challenging than the last, and a lot of freehand drawing. But if you take it slow and take your time and kind of think about it logically, I definitely think you guys can pull it off. And practice makes perfect, so don't feel bad if you don't get it on the first go. I've had to practice this one quite a few times here now. And I think in the last episode I said I might maybe try doing 2 interchanges this time around. I think just for time-wise, time's sake, we don't feel too pressed. We'll just make the one. Okay, so first thing we're going to need to do is just obviously get ourselves a highway, right? This one's already in place, but I'm not 100% happy with the spacing. It'll kind of make sense once the interchange is like placed or whatever, but we actually need just a little bit more space in between our 2 highways here. So let's just casually put these back in place. Make them look sort of nice too. There we go. There, so just a little bit wider. Oh, perfect. Maybe not the nicest looking. Let's just clean this last little bit up here. And like I said, it'll kind of make sense. This is for when we're putting the arms going from like one highway to the other. It's actually a fairly efficient, very fun. Handles like extraordinarily high volumes of traffic. Almost forgot what direction highways need to go here. Okay, so now that we've got this in place, what we're going to want to do is switch over to our one-way roads here. And I've already gone ahead and lowered our pillars down, the elevation step, just on the smallest one here. And the first thing we want to do is create 2 bridges of different heights that are just kind of going over the highway here. Let's do the smaller one first. And we just need a bridge height here that's just tall enough to be able to go over top of the highway. So for us, that's 1, 2, 3. 3 clicks up, 9 meters. And, we don't need too much space, but I think a fair amount of room on both sides, right? Just enough to get kind of maybe 2 or 3 pillars in. Maybe see one in the middle. If not, no worries. The main thing, though, and again, it'll make sense later on, we kind of want to make sure there's enough room to be able to try and sneak something in like that. See how that works? That is A-okay. If that was just showing red the whole time, I would probably redraw this just to save ourselves the effort later on. And when I say redraw, I mean I would respace our highway, or maybe go to a spot that's a little bit wider. Anyway, so just keep that in mind. So first bridge is in place, and this was a height of 9 meters. We now need another bridge so that we can go over top of this one. So we're going to go up another 3. And so now we just double check. See, height-wise, we're okay. If I go down by 1, no dice. Now, our highway that we're connecting to over here does have a spacing you can see of the 2 tiles. We actually want this to be a little bit further apart, so maybe like 4 tiles or so. We're just kind of hit or miss. And, a little bit of symmetry is nice, so maybe these can kind of be in line, especially with the pillars. But this is essentially what we're after. Now, I know these heights look a little bit disproportionate, but it'll be okay in the end. Lots of different layers are going to be added to this. But this is essentially what we're after, kind of as your first step or whatever. Okay, next thing we're going to do, and we're going to start with the taller bridge, is we're going to kind of make like it almost looks like a helix pattern. So we're going to just anchor ourselves, and we're going to start bringing the elevation down, but we're going to make kind of this shape, and then we're going to go again and make that. So if you remember from your science class in like grade 7, we're going to make kind of like, looks like chromosomes splitting or whatever, some osmosis happening here. That double helix kind of style. So that's going to be taking place. And we want to make sure we've got our road guidelines on for this, so all of these are clicked. And we're switching over to our freeform, but I want to just find where those suggestion markers are. And at about the second or so, we'll pretend we're going in the middle between these two, so between that one and this one. We're going to bring the height down by 3 clicks. So that will leave us at a height of 9 meters now, which is still enough height that we can get this road to go underneath that one, which is going to be pretty darn cool when it's all said and done. But let's just go at this nice and slow here. So we're doing this first. And we're going to now bring this on over, and then, you know, we can use that same two pole distance, or two marker distance, whatever you want to refer to these as. And I think at this point I might take a little bit of liberty and just kind of put a little curve in here, and we'll just, you know, casually bring this up and connect it. I'm gonna do that right now. And I'm, you know, these days I really just don't like doing perfectly symmetrical interchanges. What I might maybe do is start with this one here, plop that just for some speedy time's sake, and then maybe improve on it. I don't know, I just enjoy making stuff that has curves and a little bit of uniqueness to it, right? Okay, so the one thing about this is the directions are going to be flipped. So this is going to be traffic going this way. So that means we got to connect this side to that. So pretty easy to do. We want our curve to look kind of nice here. We got the guidelines in place, so that'll help. That does not look very nice. When in doubt, make it a longer segment. Yeah, that's okay right there, right? And then, you know, I mean, this doesn't look too bad, but if the curve and the shape and everything looks kind of weird, definitely change it. The shape we're going for right now is going to involve a lot of just fixing in freehand. Okay, so once we've got this side lined up, you can kind of see we've got nice, casual, very smooth slopes. Again, like enough room that we can sneak on in through here. We can bring some more bridges and stuff in later. So let's do the other side of the helix now. So just on the lower part of the bridge, we're going to just sneak on over and go in kind of in between here. So down to ground level, we're going to kind of anchor ourselves. You can see maybe in the middle of what would be those two node points. And it's just enough room that we can just, you know, casually sneak on in. We can maybe change this if we need to, if that's a little bit steep. And we're just going to sneak around on the outside here and then join up with this, right? So, easy peasy. What we'll do to help with our spacing is maybe put the this side in first. And as long as we follow what would be the same node point, that'll help keep the spacing and everything look pretty even. Same goes for like the tiles and stuff, right? Help keep all that even. All right, change those directions so we don't get too confused with that. Great, connect that on up. Awesome, actually that looks great. So just one half, but you can kind of see it's a little bit of an, you know, double helix. Has that H kind of shape to it. But it's essentially just one road going over top of the other, and we're flipping the direction of the of traffic here. Very similar to that other interchange. Okay, so let's now do the other side. And I always find that it's easier to start with the taller bridge. And, you know, like I was saying, the more often you make this, the easier it will become to make it a little bit more compact. You'll have a better understanding of how, like, you know, traffic and whatnot will flow with this. So you'll end up having a lot of fun, but definitely to start, make them a little bit oversized. So we're still going out to that 2 marker here. Bringing that down to about 9 meters. Well, not about, actually 9 meters. Bringing that down to ground level. And we have a little bit to play with this. We can make the highway go wherever we want. Cool. Alright, now let's get the other side of this one. Looks like we lost one tile there. Interesting. Not that that really matters. I'm not going to zone off that. Okay, so now just the shorter bridge. And, you know, same idea, right? We can always redo some of this if we don't like the way the bridge looks or whatever. Mess around with some of the nodes and stuff. But the main thing is just to get the shape in first and then make your improvements after. So let's start over here. Going down to ground level. And we're going to anchor, you know, in between these 2 points. Fantastic. So we'll change the directions just so this makes a little bit more sense in our mind when we're putting the on-off ramps in place. And if you get to a point where you can't change the direction, let's say it just stays red even when I'm clicking, feel free to try deleting the segments and then maybe drawing it in the direction that you want your road to end up. That usually fixes it. All right, cool. So we should have something that looks like this now. You can see over here, maybe we can make that side a little bit better, right? And what I did, instead of just deleting the whole segment, you saw I just took a little bit out of it. So now when I delete this and that, those two together should make a smoother curve. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so if you got something that looks like this, you're doing it right. Next in line is going to be the on-off points for the highway. Yeah, it's looking great so far. All right, so we'll switch over to highway road, just with the one-laner here. And the first road I'm going to put in place is going to be going from this, kind of in a semicircle, down to ground level, and then ground level into the highway here. That's kind of our first thing. And our plan is to, put some trees and some rocks and just a whole bunch of fun decorations in here. So, like, really don't worry about taking up all this space. And if you look on, like, Google Maps and stuff, like, interchanges in real life, a lot of them are, like, they're super size. So a nice smooth merging here. Not cutting anyone off too crazily. And we'll just connect this on up. So remember before I was saying how it's important to make sure that we've got the interconnection? You can kind of see why now, right? And principally what's happening is, traffic splits. So you stay to the outside if you want to, merge or whatever, so it's a little bit safer. Easy to merge over here. And then when you're coming from this direction, you will exit the highway, or exit the road to get onto the highway. And we'll have these two link up. And this is kind of what I mean, just having like fun free flowing curves. Like I really enjoy making these types of interchanges now. Something just kind of clicked for me lately. Especially when you get some trees, and if you're into doing some like assets and a little bit of modding, oh my goodness, the fun you can have, right? But I think just for vanilla, this looks pretty fantastic already. So that's the way you can see right here, right? On to the highway to the right, excellent. Coming from this direction, that's your way covered, perfect. All right, so let's do the other side now. Same kind of idea, right? So we can click here to get the same height. And the idea is just to be really gentle with the curves and the slope. If we're a bit too steep or a bit too sharp, traffic's going to be like dramatically slowing down, and that's not really going to help us out too much. And especially since we opened the more tiles, and it's 16 tiles. I can't believe I can't do math, right? The overhead. My goodness gracious me. Yeah, because we have a little bit extra room, right? I also think it's totally no problem to be doing oversized interchanges. I don't know why I have to justify this so much. I feel like I have to do. I don't know. Okay, so that works. Cool. So we should have something that looks like this now. And then, obviously, you guessed it, we'll do here going in. And I've tried to make this a few different ways. Well, I wouldn't say different ways, like in a different order. I feel like this approach, like, doing that road first and then this road second and whatnot, I think this is the best way to get this interchange built without the spacing getting a little bit too out of hand. Okay, so let's get a road leaving here. This is where things get a little crazy. This one might have to be redone here, but we'll see. All right, so that that's super simple, right? Just leave, get on in, no problem. This is where things get a little bit nuts, though. We need now kind of the same idea of this, but going from ground to here. So we have these come on up. The caveat, though, if we want to make it like just really, really, really extra safe and efficient, is we actually go from the inside, and we either go underneath or we go over top. And that way, like when traffic's merging and stuff like that, anyone leaving sticks to the left. Anyone incoming or staying on maybe sticks to the right. So just one little bit of extra element of safety. And you could even have your on be over here. That way it happens after this. I'd like these to be spaced maybe a little bit further, but I think that's okay. Anyway, so wherever you choose to go from, we're gonna choose opposite sides for that added bit of safety. And we're just going to sneak our way on through here. And again, same idea, just nice, smooth slopes and curves. Want to keep that speed nice and high. Great. And again, you can go over top, you can go underneath. The main thing, though, you can see when we first started making this is we gave ourselves a lot of extra room planning for this ahead of time. And the fact that you can see we're on an uneven terrain here, the curves are different. I just love this. I don't know. I'm getting all mushy-gushy here for this. This is kind of fun, though. Okay, so now let's do the other side. And so this one, we're going to have to go a little bit higher and over top, which is no problem. That might be a little bit too much. Great. So we'll just go with this one first. Almost forgot that side. Maybe for fun we can go from the other side here. But honestly, make it unique, make it yours. And this is also just good practice too, to have different types of merging lanes on-off. Build that repertoire. And then something you could do for fun too, which we'll probably tinker around with next episode, is have little 2-lane segments. So this, I don't think it's going to work as the single lane. Maybe we tried that before. We probably need the 2. But one becoming 2 like that will be kind of cool. But even with this approach here, anyone sticking to the outside lane, you can see it's a dedicated lane to go that direction. Anyone wanting to go straight stays to this. So just, one extra way to get some multi-lane usage, especially in vanilla. And in the case of this highway here, we won't have that, super long backup of only one lane usage. We'll have 2. Hopefully not a backup, but 2 lane usage here to get onto this. But I feel like a lot of this will, we'll do this next episode. I'm so excited to see traffic through here. I can't even wait. And then wait till you guys can see what you can do with some of the mods. Like, holy smokes, right? But yeah, I think this is it. Out of nowhere, we have just built ourselves a double crossover merging interchange. And it looks fantastic. Holy moly. I'd maybe argue that we possibly would want a bit more space between these 2 areas here, especially with the way those cars are exiting. So between episodes, I might maybe move this a little bit further back, or we could probably sneak this a bit closer. But either way, I'm very, very happy with this result. It looks fantastic. A lot of fun, fun overlapping angles and everything here. And principally very safe. So when you're approaching, you can see traffic, flip sides. If you wanted to leave the highway, you're in your own lane doing it. Cars merging, they're not going to get in your way. There's no need to. I mean, theoretically, you can do a U-turn here, but, and I think in real life you'd maybe have barriers or something preventing you from doing that. Or what we could do is, space this out a little bit differently and have this be, after that, right? But, yeah, we'll see how it goes when we get some traffic going through it. So I think I'll leave you there, guys. Very fun episode. And I wish you all the best with this one. I know it's going to be a little bit challenging, and yours might not look as nice. I don't even know this one. I think this looks nice, but we'll see. You may not even like this one. But yeah, definitely come back for next episode. What I'm going to do is we'll build up a small city around here. I'll put up a few suburbs, in and around the interchanges, and we'll see some traffic going through them. And we'll do some testing with vanilla, so no mods, nothing required. And I'll upload, by the way, to the workshop the vanilla version and a modded version when we're done. But yeah, I'll upload this too. Goodness gracious me. But yeah, so next episode we'll test out just vanilla traffic, and then we'll introduce a few mods. I'll give you guys the link to the mods themselves. I'll show you how to use them. Like, they're very, very simple. A lot of the mods have like tons of layers to them, so you can just do very simple little things, or you can make it incredibly complex. Totally up to you. The sky's the limit. But yeah, definitely I like this a lot. All right, guys. Well, happy building. Thanks for sticking it out. I will see you in the next one. And again, this format for this series, I don't know how I got so out of control. So if you're here hoping for some traffic stuff and ended up just sticking out, I appreciate that too. And when we come back and do some more mini-series working on either this region or another, I'll definitely have a better, better agenda firmed up. All right, guys. I'll see you again. Take a look for the download link in the workshop, and I'll see you next episode. Happy building. All the best. Have a great day.